Welcome everybody, Shir number 915. We're learning today L'Refuah Shalem Elio Ben Dina Malka, Lila Nishmas Moshe Doif Ben Rabban Zis, and Lila Nishmas Blima Bas Rab Moshe. Getting back to our malacha of MAKEH B'PATISH. Okay, so an interesting concept which we've spoken about in Boy. Also, again, it's a little bit more towards the boina part, but like we've been talking about, it's the first cousin to MAKEH B'PATISH, and sometimes it's a little this way, a little that way. In reference to a small item, not a big item, we said a large item, something that's more than 40 saw, or like the Sefer Shabbos home brings down 20 cubic feet. This if you have a desk, let's say, or a bookcase, right? We've spoken about a refrigerator, these type of things that have the volume of more than 20 cubic feet, 40 saw. We've spoken about in the past, like, or large desk, a very large desk or something like that, or a large bookcase. So then that's a problem of that goes into karka, and you're not allowed to put back a door. If a door fell off, fell off the slide or something like that, or a drawer came out of a desk, a big desk, something like that is not allowed to be done. But if it's a smaller item, then we said as long as it goes in loosely and it's going to stay basically loosely, there's nothing, you're not screwing it in, it's just a loose thing that stays there, then we said that was okay. So it just brings a couple of examples. Does Sefer Shabbos home, for example, is permitted to reinsert a drawer that came out, now, assuming you have it, that there's no muksa. Many times in a drawer there's muksa items inside of it, so you have to be careful. But let's say you have a drawer, either it's empty or there's items in it that are not muksa, to reinsert it that came out of a small desk that's less than 20 cubic feet, like we said, or 40 saw, a small desk, and let's say the drawer came out or it fell off the slide or whatever, so you just push it back. Simple action. You're not doing anything that's a big tirchat, so to say. In other words, first of all, you don't have to screw anything back in, and you don't have to start. If you have to start, getting it straight, and it's going to take time, and it's a tircha, and it's a bothersome type of thing, and it's going to take time. That can't be done. But if it's a simple thing, just pushing it right back onto the track, the drawer that came out of the small desk or table on Shabbos, provided that there's no muksa, like we said, since it's attached only loosely, this drawer it's on the track. It's only attached very loosely. The resembling does not violate MAKEH B'PATISH. Of course, you can't put it together for the first time. However, assembling it, he brings down initially, would taka be also. So it's an important thing to keep in mind. Sometimes a person has a drawer on the table, or sometimes a drawer in from a desk that came out, and these type of things, and they just want to push it back. It's a little bit off the slide, and it's a small desk. It's not a big one, like we said, over the 20 cubic feet or so on. That would not be a problem. Another interesting case we had, sometimes you have these coffee tables have like a glass in the middle, and the glass it's not screwed on. It's a regular coffee table for a living room or whatever, dining room for a living room, and sometimes they have like a glass in the middle that's not screwed on with screws. It doesn't have to be clicked in with hooks or anything. You just put it on and take it off. It's made to be taken on and off, but it's not like a door or window where you go in and out. But sometimes to move the table, you just want to take out that glass piece that's in the middle. And sometimes it's a little bit larger. So, assuming that the coffee table is again smaller than this 20 cubic feet, smaller than 40 saw, which usually most coffee tables are. The smaller type coffee tables, doesn't have a din of karka like a house. So, just taking out that glass piece, you want to move the table, so l'chayr should not be a problem. And putting it back also because of the fact that it just sits there. You just put it right on. It just sits right on top of the thing. It's like in the, it's a little bit cut out, a little bit of a groove. You just put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out, and there's no tightening it, and it basically sits in loosely. In the grooves, it just sits in there basically loosely, and the item is a kli, and it has a din of kli of a utensil and not karka. Now, if it will be a larger coffee table, that would be a problem that you can't do, even though it's in there, loosely, because then we said it has a din of karka. But a smaller item, a smaller kli, these type of things would be okay. He brings down another case. Does the Sefer Shabbos home similarly is permitted to return a sliding door to a small? Let's say it slipped off the track. A sliding door slipped off a small bookcase. Again, it has to be a small bookcase, less than 20 cubic feet, like we said, less than 40 saw. But it's a small one. And but attaching it for the first time would taka be awesome. But if it just slipped off a little bit off the track, pushing it back, again, assuming it's a small one, would be fine. If it's a large bookcase, larger than 20 cubic feet, larger than the 40 saw, like we've been talking about, that would taka be usher, because pushing it back, even though it's going to be there lightly, even though it's going to be there loosely, is not allowed to be done because of the fact that it falls under the guidelines of karka, basically of a structure, and that is usher to do. So now another interesting case brings down, which could come up quite often. A person's earring is a little bit bent out of shape. So he brings down the Sefer Lamites Malachas on page 1118. Crimping the bent clip of an earring would be MAKEH B'PATISH, like pushing it, making it smaller. Let's say it got bent, it got a little bit larger, and it doesn't fit. So crimping the bent clip of an earring would also be running into the Isser of MAKEH B'PATISH, because now you make it usable. Now, somebody might ask the interesting question that we spoke about last time, the putting back the pendant of a necklace that slipped out. One may slide it back in, brings down Sefer Lamites Malachas. We saw it in the Sefer Shabbos home. They could put it back in because this kind of mishap is a common occurrence with jewelry of this type and does not render the necklace a broken item, whereby the earring is not wearable. It's not usable at all. But over here, the necklace is not broken. Moreover, the pendant is a loosely connected component, which is easy to replace. And replacing it is merely considered a simple act of maintaining and restoring the jewelry, not repairing it. So that's the main point of MAKEH B'PATISH. We always have to keep in mind when it's repair, like the case of the earring, pushing it together, making it usable, that's a problem. When it's only over here just restoring it to the way it was, restoring the jewelry and its normal, part of the normal usage, that is okay. Just real quickly, we spoke about last time, we spoke about a couple of times, removing rust from an item is also a problem, brings on Sefer Lamites Malachas. In general, dirt, like washing dishes, that's not a question of tikkamana because that's normal usage. But Lamaisa, we spoke about scraping off rust from a metal pot or from a utensil or something like that is going into a problem of a repair, according to some poskim in many ways, and therefore one has to be careful not to do it. Sometimes you have could be possibly not a pot, but you might have a fork, a spoon, you might have an item. Sometimes, whatever, somebody has a little bit of an older one and just scraping off, or you want to scrape off a little bit of the rust. One has to be careful to refrain from doing it, not to scrape off rust on Shabbos. One last thing, he brings down the Sefer Lamites Malachas, interesting reference to reinserting. We've spoken about reinserting, putting back the stuffing into a pillow or mattress. We spoke about putting back shoelaces that came out. There's always a question of putting back where it becomes easier. Putting the first time, that's where the problem is. Putting back is most of the time easier. We spoke about, just real quickly, the Chazar over, reinserting the lace that came out of a hood or a coat, as long as it goes in fairly easy. If it's a big tercha, that could be running into a problem. We spoke about putting back the pendant, like we said, fell out of a necklace, putting back a belt that fell out of a trench coat. And another interesting thing, he brings down putting back a key into a key ring. Let's say a person has a key. In a case where the key is not muksa, it's a key a person needs for the house, a place where you could carry whatever, and it came off the key ring, let's say something like that. Could I put it back on the ring? So he brings down reinserting, putting back a key onto a key ring would be also falling under this category of reinserting, putting items back. And you're not making it workable, it's just putting it back from where it came off. That l'chayra would be okay. So brings down the Sefer Lamites Malachas. Thank you for listening. Atzlach and Bracha Kol Tov.